If you didn't know, Thanksgiving is next Thursday. And if you're still putting the final touches on those holiday menus, we've got some ways to save money and also impress your guests.
So the average cost of Thanksgiving dinner for 10 people is estimated to be around $61 this year. That's slightly lower than last year, but certain holiday staples are expected to cost more. So joining us now with some recipes that can save you money without compromising flavor is Chef Ann Ziata from the Institute of Culinary Education in New York. And to help us break down what is driving the rise in holiday dinner costs is Javier David. He's the managing editor for business and markets at Axios, and of course, a CBS News contributor. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. This looks expensive.
Amazing.
Does it look expensive?
It looks
though?
pricey.
Yeah. So we're starting from one end and working to the other. So Javier, there's a new agricultural report out from Wells Fargo, and it talks about the price of regular potatoes and sweet potatoes. Both of them have gone up. But what's driving the trend? And then why is it sweet potatoes that are cheaper? Why are they cheaper?
So interestingly, just to set the whole stage for this, it's important to note that a lot of these food staples, food inflation has been a huge story for at least the last 2 years. It has trickled into everything. A lot of it has to do with a bunch of factors that are outside of our control. Conflict in Russia, Ukraine, which has put pressure on wheat and flour and all sorts of things. Double digits skyrocketed. Food, all of the things that we use to eat are just like, everything. That's just been the story of the day. It's just like food inflation. Everybody's going to the store. Everyone's getting sticker shock. So certain things that are produced here, if it's produced domestically, it's arguably less expensive because you don't have to transport it overseas. It's the whole supply chain. It's a little bit easier.
One more reason to keep it local.
Yes.
So, Ann, let me ask you about this sweet potato dish that you've prepared for us. Many people often think about skipping the mashed potatoes, but you say what?
Yeah, so the sweet potatoes are a great alternative to mashed potatoes, and this recipe kind of cuts them so it's not too sweet, right? Sometimes sweet potatoes can fall a little bit into that, like,
I'm not a big sweet potato guy.
Yes.
No, but that's why I like this concept. Half and half, sort of, right?
Yes.
Exactly. So how did you make it?
So there's roasted sweet potatoes, and then in that blend there's some turnips, there's some celery root, things that are kind of hard to eat a lot of on their own. So, but they're delicious when they're balanced with something that's a little more sweet. There's also some roasted shallots, some chopped rosemary, and it has a mustard maple glaze.
Smells delicious.
Yeah, it does. So I'm gonna make a confession. I love cranberry sauce. I like it in the shape of the can with the ridges on it. I want to be able to slice it. Yeah, what? So, Javier,
That's
fresh or canned?
I too am a big cranberry fan.
The canned kind?
Yeah, I like the canned kind.
Kind that's like it's wiggling on the plate.
I need it gelatin-like.
Yeah, you kind of mix it up with other stuff.
But which one's more expensive?
So cranberries are actually pretty cheap this year, 20% less. Very recent data showing, but the sauce that we like is up 7% compared to last year. So fresh cranberries,
put the can down.
Put the can down.
So, Ann, this is fresh cranberries.
Can you win me over?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is fresh cranberries, right? And it's
cranberries.
the thing that people don't realize is how easy it is to make. So just describe how you make fresh cranberry sauce versus then like struggling with the can.
Oh yeah, that's a struggle.
You're shaking it out of there.
That's how you
slice it up.
That's how you earn your cranberry sauce. But let's learn.
Yeah, so this recipe doesn't even require a knife, really. We cook the cranberries down with some ginger juice, a little bit of sugar, and they just kind of do the rest themselves. They pop open, and they are so tart and sweet and delicious. And
I sort of feel like for the people who eat the canned stuff, they've never had the fresh stuff. And once you have the fresh stuff, you never go back.
Well, what if I just took that and put it in a can? Because now it's become a tradition. All right, so next, this looks fantastic, this salad that we have here. All right, so Javier, with all the carbs at Thanksgiving, salad's a nice way to kind of break that up a little bit if that's what you want to do. Last year, lettuce prices were up. What's happening this year?
This year, we've got currently down approximately 10%.
Okay,
so it's a good news story.
Yeah.
But interesting note that fruits, vegetables, it's been a really hot year, if you haven't noticed here.
Yeah. Is that good for fruits and vegetables or no?
Well, that's bad because it creates sort of drought conditions. That's part of the reason why flour prices have been skyrocketing. So anything that has to do with pies and pie making, you're probably going to pay a little bit more on that side.
So, Ann, tell us about this. I'm a huge salad guy. I can eat salads like all day long.
You can almost taste the freshness.
Yeah, it really does
look
look fantastic.
At it,
Yeah, so I'm also a big salad person, and I think we're really seeing salads like really let the lettuces shine. It's not about this like heavy dressings. So getting really good quality baby lettuces. There's some radicchio in here, and then just a little bit of lemon zest, lemon juice, olive oil, and a healthy amount of Parmesan. And it's a nice palate cleanser. It's refreshing, and it adds some brightness to the holiday table.
I love
fabulous.
it. And we can still afford dessert now because we've saved so much money. What do we got for dessert?
Oh, yeah. So for our dessert, this is our bourbon chess pie.
Ooh,
So a
bourbon.
Chess pie.
Like
What's a
chess
chess pie?
game.
Like,
Yeah.
bourbon. I've never
Yeah.
heard of that. What is a chess pie?
A chess pie is a traditional Southern pie made from basically pantry staples. So it's almost like a pumpkin pie without pumpkins, or a custard that's not custardy. So it's sugar and eggs and cream, and we added a little bit of bourbon. You can also use vanilla extract or any other like Grand Marnier or whatever you have around.
Can I ask though, because I'm a big pie crust guy, what's the crust all about?
The crust, that's very personal. So whatever you want to go with. This is just a nice, like a pâte sucrée, so a little
Okay.
butter, sugar, dough. But if
Okay.
you want to do a graham cracker crust, if you want
yeah.
to do, go crazy.
Yeah, I love. I don't know why. I'm always like when I cut into a pie, I flip it over and I start with the crust. I love the crust. If it's nice and thick.
You know
and,
what?
Yeah,
right?
Try that.
You guys should try that. It's really good.
And while pumpkin pie is not on the menu, canned pumpkin, the things that we use to
Yeah,
fill
yeah.
it, up 30%.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So-
I do like canned pumpkin, too.
Yes.
And we got a little drink, too. I got to wash it all down with.
Yes, of course. This is a white pear sangria. So you can take any sort of like non-expensive wine. I like a Pinot Grigio for this. It's pretty neutral and fruity. We threw in some pears, some cinnamon, a little bit of hard cider too, just to
Right.
sweeten it, round it out. And then let it sit overnight, and you have a nice little drink to have with your meal.
Pears. You said ginger,
A little bit of ginger slices.
Cinnamon. And a little bit of hard cider just
Yeah.
to give it that little bite.
Get the most out of that very expensive one pear, because we learned fruits are
Pears not
expensive now.
cheap.
That's
Pears are not
okay.
cheap. So, what do you want to try?
Oh, the pie, of course.
Try the pie?
Yeah.
Let's try a little pie.
Can we just dig into it? All right, we're digging into it.
Go for it, yeah.
All right, guys.
So we're going to eat this food. We're also going to drink this booze because we're not allowed to drink it on camera. But once we're done with the show, you will find Anne Marie and I and Javier and Ann in the green room having a little bit of
This is
Friday
so good.
happy hour.
This is so good.
Delicious. All right,
Whoa.
Ann, Javier, thank you both very, very much. Happy Thanksgiving, folks.
Happy Thanksgiving.